All right, folks. A little later than I'd like to get started, but that's what happens on work nights. Sometimes you don't get home at the time you're supposed to be getting home. All right, so let me grab a soda. I don't do anything. I don't do anything without soda. All right. So we just finished our last Gaslands car build a couple days ago. We actually played the game last night. It went really, really, really well. It went so well that I'm pretty comfortable. Probably the next time we get together, going ahead and filming it. So that's coming up maybe in a week or two or something like that. So I was able the other day to actually put one of the Gaslands vehicles completed, finish it up in one evening sitting. So a couple hours, we were able to paint it. But there was some other things that we have to do ahead of time before we can get to that point, and that is taking these little guys apart. So we're going to do some of that, and we'll be out here, I guess, probably about an hour or something like that. So we can hit the ground running. I didn't want to waste another day of not having stuff prepped. All right. So the video's backwards. So anything you see is going to be the mirror image of it. Unfortunately, that's one of the problems with using the phone as your filming device. Is everything's mirror image backwards. So let's put this somewhere really safe that it's not going to get messed up here. Make sure this is on there pretty well. All right, and we're going to show you what we have. We have several die-cast models to take apart, I am not a fan of doing this. It's just a lot more difficult than it should be. And that's even having what I'd say the proper equipment. All right, so we have our little cheap vise here. We're going to want like a little towel or something, maybe a paper towel or something like that to cushion it, because for the most part, not this one, but for the most part, these vehicles, we're going to use the body color that's already there. That was really successful. So, except for this one, which we actually tested to see if this came by. Okay, and but this one, we're actually going to take this one apart and we're going to make a wreck out of this one. Now, why are you going to wreck this vehicle? Well, first of all, I was actually looking at the dollar store for ones that I need some wrecks in the game. Okay, we played it yesterday, and you need to have wrecks. The best way would be get every vehicle, make a wreck out of it, but I really don't want to spend $1 on a vehicle. It sounds like a lot to make a wreck, but still. The dollar store sells these 3-packs for $1, but they didn't have any. So I've got 3 of these Land Rovers. So I'm gonna sacrifice one of them. What's up, Nora? And we're going to smash it up. But the main thing is we're going to work on the next couple of vehicles that are coming up, and we need to take them apart so we can get to all the parts in there and make sure everything gets modified as such. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to take this one apart, and we're also going to take this Porsche apart, which I'm going to keep the original paint color on it. Okay, like I said, it's reversed. We'll probably repaint the headlights and everything. Those gold rims, they don't really go with this, but other than that, this is, and obviously we're going to weather it. They'll have guns and things like that. And I got about 6 or 7 I'd like to do, because I'm out of them right now. I'm out of all the ones that are torn apart. So let's go ahead and do that and see if we can learn from the last time I did it, because it didn't go great. It didn't go great last time. What plugs do we have here? This is the fan. All right, we need that. And what is this the plug to? My compressor for my airbrush. Okay, we don't need that on right now. We're not going to be, I don't think we're going to be airbrushing anything. All right, so let's plug in this drill, even though I have a Dremel. This thing is a lot easier to do. Now, let's go down to the smaller size one. Only thing I don't like about using the drill is I wish it was a little quicker to change the bits. Doesn't take that long, but I thought we had it loose. Wouldn't hold my mouth right. All right, we're going to do the pilot hole. These are supposedly for metal. Now, one thing I encountered the other day while doing this was a pain in the butt because I was actually spinning it too fast, and it actually wasn't cutting into the metal because it was too fast. So we did like 4 or 5 the other day, and it wasn't until like the last couple that I got into the groove. Let's just untangle this the easy way. We don't edit anything here, so if this is long-winded, well, you know. I've seen people that do videos, and it's like they spend all this time editing the video. I don't know how you get anything done. All right. So we're going to take this thing apart. So we're going to hold it upside down. This one actually, fortunately, only has one rivet on it. So we're going to put it... Actually, this one we don't care if the finish gets ruined because we're going to make a rack out of it. And so these Matchbox and Hot Wheels vehicles have some really good detail on the inside of them. We've got to find the right one here. Yeah, and then twist it. No, need to go in one more. Don't tell me it's like in between a couple of them. There we go. We're still going to hold it. We just need to... This is the most dangerous thing I do on the video. This is... I tell people this is more dangerous than firearms. Okay. Let it eat through the middle, and then we'll switch this thing out. I wish I had 2 of these. Then you wouldn't have to do so much switching. And this is actually a bit that's made for metal. And you could probably break it. Come on. And now we use the bigger one. Hey, it's the same size bottom on it. So I was thrilled to be able to do the last 2 builds I did. I actually used the body color that the car came in. So first of all, that saves a lot of time. Second of all, there's some nice graphics on this that it'd be a shame to have to repaint them. Like, I can repaint this and it'll look great, but I'm not going to go in and, you know, put all that striping on there, you know. So it saves me some trouble and allows me to go ahead and just work with the originality that's already there. If you start going too fast, it actually does not give it enough time to eat at it. Okay, let's take a look at it. I should have brought my super readers out here. And these actually get really hot. You can actually feel it through the... Yeah, so we've drilled into it twice. Okay. Now we're going to go to 1 bit bigger. Now I wish I didn't have to do this switch with the bits, but... I just want to make sure I'm using these 3 bits because it's been a couple weeks since I did this. And if that's the case, then we'll drill all the small ones on all these vehicles, all the medium ones, then all the large ones. Let's put this down. And you still have to hold this thing. Did it. All right, we should be through. We should be through the safe now. I have a, I don't know, I have an old screwdriver here. I have one. You'd use it to pry it up. Let me go grab a screwdriver. Luckily, it's on the underside, so it doesn't really matter how pretty it looks that much. Yeah, this one should work. Doesn't matter if it's a Phillips. Okay, pops that open. Let's see what we got inside. Paul the German. I was a dude yesterday. Were you? Well, we got some German cars coming up. That's what we're doing today. So let's look at the inside. Look at this. Look at the inside of this vehicle. It's got, see if I can get the lighting on here right. I mean, you got a steering wheel that's far away from the console. Oh, it's an American Land Rover. It's not driving it on the, it doesn't have the steering compartment on the wrong thing. You got a toolbox back here. There's some nice stuff. Now, I'm specifically going to make this a wreck. Okay, so we're going to take all this glass out. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm about banging into it. And we're going to keep these tires, right? We're not going to crush these tires. Because we need wrecks for the game. And that's why we have this little compartment here. We'll just drop them in there. And these pieces, we may need these for something else along the way. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. And it's going to look kind of hollow. So what I plan on doing is just beating it with a mallet. And is this a piece that can come off here, the back here? Spare tire. Yeah, all right, let's save all those parts. All right, let me go get my mallet. I told my wife, I said, if I'm making banging sounds out here, don't be worried. Now, I may not do this again. I may realize that this doesn't look good enough. But I have 3 of these Land Rovers. Sorry, your English is not that good. It's pretty good, man. It's better than my German. All right, let's see if we can... All right, here it goes. I do all my own stunts. Great, now we don't... There it is. Oh, man. You funny guy. All right. I would not buy a regular Matchbox or a Hot Wheels and do this to it. I think my soul would die a little bit. Okay, now. Honestly, I think it's better without the undercarriage. And yeah, it's hollow on the inside, but whatever. We'll spray paint it black, dry brush it, you know. I think that'll work. Okay. All right, cool. That was definitely what I wanted to do. I want to make one and then see how this turns out. Okay? Because you need them for the game. All right. Back to the Germans. All right, so I like to steal my own thunder. I do it all the time. In other words, I don't like to keep secrets from you guys. So I got a couple of these cars that I'm going to name. They're all going to have German names. This one in particular is going to be Schadenfreude. Okay? This Porsche. We're going to repaint it. We're going to weather it. Gonna add some guns to it. I forget exactly what the configuration is, but this is going to be a performance car in the game. That's what it refers to. Oh man, I didn't get the Volkswagen bus. I gotta go grab the bus. Then we have this blue BMW. Okay, no, we're not going to bang any of these. This is only because I needed to make a wreck and see if this works for me. Because I've got 3 of these, and I mean I only need 1. So, so we got this BMW. I believe this one's going to be Arschgeiger. And then this one is Hassenpfeffer, because it's a rabbit, right? And Hassenpfeffer is actually a rabbit dish. Unfortunately, both of these are blue, but this one's metallic and this one's not. So, I got to go get the crazy van. I'll be right back. Be back in a moment. Yeah, this is a crazy futuristic van here. Vanagon with an attitude. Where is Schnitzel? Well, I'm probably going to have about 8 or 9 German cars. And, you know, this is... The game is great. We played last night, but I don't like their fluff backstory. I think it doesn't appeal to me. So... I'm going to have Germans drive German cars, British drive British cars, Italians drive Italian cars, etc. And then there's stuff that's, you know, all over the place that isn't important. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and drill out all of the little ones. All the ones with the small drill bit. So we're not changing this 3 times on every single one of these vehicles. Now, I tried doing something for the first time, and I hit a home run with it. What I tried is, I wanted to use these in the paint job that it was, but we wanted to give them a little bit of a wash to begin with, add some of that, as some people like to call modulation, right? And so they're too slick, all of them. So I added a flat coat. I sprayed with the Yeho Premium Flat, and then let that dry, and then we did a brown wash on them. Not super heavy, because I personally don't want to make vehicles that look like Mad Max, even though I've never seen Mad Max. Something out of Death Race. Okay, they're too rustic. We'll call it rustic looking. I want it to still look like you can tell what the core vehicle is. I still want people to tell, oh, this is a Porsche. Okay, it's got like a minigun on it or something like that, but it's still a Porsche. That's just my personal taste. Otherwise, you just have a bunch of vehicles that all look the same. Okay, that's just my personal choice. And since I'm going to be building all the cars for this game, which sounds like a punishment, but it is not. It worked really, really well. Let's do this Volkswagen bus next. Okay. And you can see what's really unique about this is you've got some airflow dynamics with this thing. So the air comes in through here. So this is like some hopped up bus. Now, there's some things on here like a 25th anniversary of Hot Wheels and stuff like that. We're going to try to remove some of that stuff with the pen. If I can't, then I can't, you know. The other option is we've got some spare tires now that we crushed this thing, so we might switch out some of the tires on this thing. Okay, this has 2, which is standard. 2 standard rivets. And this is, of all the things I've ever done in any of the hobbies, I dislike doing this the most. But it's necessary. And it's just, honestly, it's pretty freaking scary. I'm being really careful, but this is not an enjoyable activity. I'll just leave it at that. Okay? Definitely don't need to be drinking any alcohol while you do this. Not that I even drink that much, but... Let's make sure we're tightened all the way. All right, we're going to put the pilot holes through here. See if we can center this a little bit more. I want to look for that metal that's coming out. And if you like floor this and go, really, it doesn't cut as well. It's the weirdest thing. And that's good because at this speed, it's safe. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing on the back. I'm going to flip it because I like having my finger here and drilling on this side. And we don't want the paint scheme to get damaged. We are going to make it look weathered, but weathered, not, destroyed. But we played the game last night for probably the third or fourth time recently. We played it about a half dozen times before, but Mitch and I played the game, running it on our own. The third or fourth time, I got cards that I made in Excel for all of them. It worked really, really well. And probably the next time we get together, we'll probably film it. And these are bits that are specifically made. I don't even know what brand they are. They're expensive. All right. I don't know if that's going to be deep enough, but we're gonna assume that it is because it's not budging anymore. It's basically to get the core of that metal out when you come in and you use a bigger one, that it's easier to remove. All right. So we got one of those done. Let's do the Porsche now. Porsche's got wide parts. And I'm just using this as a cushion so we don't mess up the paint job. Yeah, get those little ribbons of metal coming out. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll flip it over. If I'm going to fire up the airbrush and give these guys a flat coat, I might as well flat coat many of them, not just do one. Because like last night, I got not last night, but the night before, I got a whole one done. So they can paint up pretty quick. Now, I personally want them to look like what they're armed with. It's a big deal to me, I don't want to add, all kinds of guns and it only has one, Same thing, like I told Mitch, I've got several of these vehicles that come with flames on the side of them. They actually have some pretty nice graphics. I don't want a vehicle that has flames on it that doesn't have a flamethrower. It doesn't make sense, right? Doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. And the Porsche over. All right. The BMW. And I got some other stuff that's coming in the mail next week. We got some better dice. I bought the gas. Oh, this is a really nice metallic finish on this thing. So we're still going to have some of that. I mean, it's this actually a beautiful blue color. So, I bought the original Gasland dice when the first game came out. I don't know what 9 years ago, and we've probably played the game 10 times. And the dice, the the on the skid dice, the shift and the spins and the what's the other thing that's on there? Hazards, shift, spins, hazards, and slides. They're already coming off. So I ordered a set of dice that are etched, and they're, you know, they look to be much better quality. So they're inexpensive, but I don't like to buy stuff unless I know I need it, and you know, everything else looks good. We don't use shitty ass looking dice. All right, I know you can make your own dice, but I don't mind supporting the people that make this kind of stuff. I think most people don't build these as what you see is what you get, but it's kind of important to me. That's how I do everything else. Why would this be an exception? Now, I was talking about on Facebook, when I was posting the pictures on Facebook, it just so happened that when I built these cars, I wanted to, I had some cars that I had already built, but I hadn't really played the game with them. So I wanted to make sure moving forward I didn't put weapons and things that either didn't fit on the car due to the spaces that they take up in the game, or that they weren't cost effective. So I built one of my cars based on what it looked, and it ended up being 27 points in the game, or 27 cans. I can't call it cans. I'm sorry. It's got to be points. And so then I did the next one, and I got basically to 27 points again. At that point, I'm like, all right, well, let's just have a group of 27-point cars, because I don't want people to build it. It takes too long, like setting up a car and all that stuff in the beginning of the game. You're just going to pull a car randomly. That's what we did last night. We had 6 27-point cars to choose from, and we rolled randomly to which 2 we were going to use, and it worked out beautifully. So there's going to be another tier of cars. Not everything will be 27 points, but you know, the next jump up might be like 45 or something like that. You know, but like all these are 27-point cars. You know, and it's enough that they don't have so many weapons that they don't have any weaknesses. You know. Got the second one? Yeah. Hassenpfeffer. I really enjoy going to the dollar store, Walmart, whatever, and looking for these. Now, I'm going to empty this because there are some metal shavings, and I don't want a metal shaving being on here in between the paper and actually scratch it. I mean, I could deal with scratches, but, you know, I'd like to put damage where I want them, not where it accidentally happens. If that makes any sense. I don't know why you're wobbling. The drill doesn't wobble. Shit happens. Got to be careful with this though, man. You only got one set of fingers. I need mine. All right, who's up next? And we're not going to work on all of them. It's just like if I'm going to fire up this, let's do a few. What do we got left? We got We got this whole thing. This was from the dollar store. It's funny. These actually cost more than the Hot Wheels. This is like $1.25. This is a make-believe car. Now, the last make-believe car I had, which was Leadfoot, actually on it said Leadfoot. So I actually went with the name of it. The front of this looks like a, I don't know what this is. Maybe some kind of Challenger or something knockoff. Let's see what this one's called. It's called Slayer. We could do better than that. This is, judging by the size of the rims on this, this is definitely going to be one of the Urban Crew cars. So this will be the first one. We might actually put some gold rims on it. Where is the... Oh, these dickheads. Look, they got one here, and one here. This one has 3. That's just mean-spirited. That is just mean-spirited. All right. I see that metal getting pulled out. That's always a good sign. Maisto. Yeah, these are the Chinese ones. The Matchbox and Hot Wheels are usually Malaysian, Indonesian, or Thailand. Everybody doing all right? I know this is boring, but it's part of the process. I don't like to edit my videos because people get an idea how long things take. You watch some edited videos like, oh, that guy was done in a flash. I said, he edited a lot of shit out, man. Okay. And this one. Well, I actually prefer to work with plastic because, plastic, you don't have to put a tremendous amount of pressure on things. Plastic, you have a lot of options. You can use epoxy, you can use hot glue, you can use weld cement, you can use all kinds of different ways to stick things. If you're working with something that's white metal, you're limited. Super glue, which I'm not a fan of. All right. Who else we got? We got a couple redneck trucks. And then that's it. That's it for now. All right, so we're going to do this old school. We're not repainting this. See, look at this paint scheme. Like, this is like a traditional Chevy, whatever brand. What does it even say what it is? Chevy Stepside, 1975. Okay, now the reason why I'm using one of these, and I haven't decided which one of them I'm going to do. Check this out. This is by Switchyard Studios, makes these things on Etsy. I did my first purchase with them, and I've been pretty happy with them. They obviously customized this specifically for these type of pickup trucks because it's a turret with a big old gun on the back, right? But look what they did. They give you these two pieces that actually stack on top of each other. So they know that you're going to have issues with getting in the wheel well. So instead of making you remove the damn wheel well, they just made a piece that telescopes over it and it's taller than the wheel well. Look at that. Okay? And not only that, but it works on the other Bubba truck. Okay? Same thing. You got wheel wells there. If you put the big chunk, it's not going to fit in there. So it gives you a piece that you can telescope. Right? Telescope meaning it's taller than the wheel well. Right? And then you can put this piece that's wider. We tested this on some green. And then you have the turret that goes on top of it, clearing the roll bar on the pickup truck. Same thing with this one. Now we're going to make it so that the gun rotates, right? You don't have to have a rotating gun, but it's just too freaking cool, right? And actually, this one's a little too short. But I could put a shim in there and make it work. But that's pretty freaking cool. Like they put some thought into it. They just didn't 3D print a bunch of stuff and go, here, have fun with that, and and have fun fighting with it, Like they put some thought into it. Almost like they printed it for themselves, and they go, you know what we could do to make it better? Let's do this to it. All right. If you like this kind of crap, don't forget to subscribe. I do almost all my hobby working live. So, if you can't stand it, maybe you want to work on your hobby stuff at the same time. That's what I used to do. Watch other people do their stuff. Have some accompaniment. We got 2 here, traditional 2. And, or you can watch it after the fact and just fast forward the stuff that doesn't look like it's very interesting. Okay? Trying to find one that, there we go. We want to have some resistance. All right, catching on this. I do also have a Dremel, but this is a lot easier to use this since it's for this simple stuff. The Bubba truck, as I like to call them. This is in Thailand, as a matter of fact. It's a Matchbox. The Matchbox vehicles are more realistic looking than the Hot Wheels, as a general rule. But for this game, I think the Hot Wheels actually work better because I like a little bit of exaggeration. But I use them both. I have used both. I don't have a preference. They both cost the same. Sometimes the Matchbox have more appropriate looking wheels. I remember when I was little, my dad never liked the Hot Wheels. He always thought the wheels were like way out of scale. My dad only had them because he was using them for like an HO train set, and they're out of scale for that. They're a little too much on the large scale. Hose scale, as people that used to call that don't know. You got them hose scale trains? Oh, the prostitute scale trains? Yeah, we got some of those. All right, and this one, I can't wait to break these things apart and see what kind of cool shit's in them. Every one of these vehicles I've taken apart, except these, okay? Because these actually have like a solid, it's like solid plastic. It's not clear. There's nothing inside here of these. But every one of the other vehicles, the interiors on them are always super cool. It's impressive that they can make something so interesting that costs so little. It's a lot of entertainment for very little price. And that's the one thing I like to stress is all this hobby stuff, it takes a while to do. I come out here and airbrush, I'm like, oh, it'll take 15 minutes. Next thing you know, you're out here an hour. Don't make any plans. How long are you going to be? I don't know. We'll see how long it takes. This is the last one that we're going to drill with this bit, and then we'll go up to the next size bigger. Whoa, we went all the way in. That's good. That means the next step will be easier with this one. Let's clear this out. Now, this has some annoying graphics, which we may try to remove some of them. I didn't have a lot of luck with the dry erase pens. So the other suggestion they had is actually with your Dremel, take a little buffer. I've got buffing things that it's almost like felt. Something like this that we might try doing that on. That's a project for the weekend, though. We're not gonna do the red. We're not doing the red nicks next. All right. Now I'm going to leave this one here in this position. We're just going to switch up, go to the next drill bit over. Now I don't know if I can get away with actually using only 2 drill bits. In other words, skip the middle one, but I don't know that I'm ready to cut corners just yet. Now, I hope this isn't too. No, we're okay. Hot, as I was going to say. Looking to widen that. Come in, flip it over. This is going a lot better than it did any other day. I was just using it. I was doing this at too high a speed. It's fucking scary. It's scary. But not like this. It was too high a speed and I wasn't getting anywhere. All right. Other redneck truck. We'll just do them in reverse order. So yeah, we're going to keep this color. You know, this ugly ass brown. Yep. It's the 70s. There were lots of things. There was the same color as people's paneling in their basement. Well, we didn't have a basement. It was in our living room. And that wall paneling in this house that we rented from 1976 to 78 in Alabama. Northern Alabama. Don't want to put WD-40 or anything like that. It becomes a fire hazard. It gets slippery. You know, nothing good can come from that. If they just use screws, it'd be so much easier. And it's funny, I had so many of these when I was a kid, and you'd play with them hard so much that, you know, there's only a tiny little, like, a piece of wire there that gets bent. The next thing you know, you've got these wheels that, with this ridiculous camber, which some people like that in cars, you know. I guess if that's your thing, but. All right. moving along. Now the thing is having a car that has it's higher in the front than it is in the back. A car or usually a pickup truck. And somebody explained to me what the purpose of it was, and I forgot what it is. And I think the purpose isn't to accidentally run over people, though. That looks like that would actually be one of the effects it would have. I remember in the 70s, and I guess the 60s and the 70s would be the opposite. You'd have something like an El Camino, and the big wheels would be on the back, so it'd be like facing down. Now it's like, you know, anything that does anybody that has anything that's trendy, it's the other way. It's high in the front. I don't know if it's trendy, but a lot of people around here do that, or a lot of kids around here do that. Yeah, see, I've already been out here now. You know? Okay. The Vanagon. T2 Custom, I think is what they call this. I don't know. Terminator 2 Custom. Oh, I bet it's Type 2 Custom. Because a Volkswagen, like a regular Beetle, used to be called a Type 1. A Type 2 is the microbus. Then the Type 3 is the one that's a sedan, looks kind of like a Carmen Ghia. And then the 4 is the wagon kind. It looks like a... What the hell does it look like? Like a Volvo, maybe? Volvo-ish? I feel like they didn't make too many of those. I saw someone the other day that had a Carmen Ghia, and I was walking with my daughter. I said, "You know what this is?" And she's like, "Is that a Porsche?" I said, "Well, it's close. I mean, well, it's not close in horsepower, but it's close in look. It's definitely influenced one by the other." So it's a Carmen Ghia, and like she looked at me like I was from another planet, you know, because those things don't run around anymore. But it's severely underpowered, but they look kind of cool until you're in a wreck. Or you're in a fender bender. Let's remove this. All right. Hasselpfeffer. That's one of them Bugs Bunny words. One of the guys wanted to cook them up and make Hassenpfeffer out of them. But they don't show those cartoons on there because they're too violent. Well, we didn't have cartoons that were, you know, inappropriate with, like, you know, sexual humor and shit like that. You know, we just had violence. Let's do one thing. Let's move our airbrush away from here. I don't really want to unscrew that and put it somewhere else. Now, I've already built these cars, meaning on paper, I already know what they're going to be equipped with. I mean, don't ask me right now, but it's written down. And they're all different from each other. None are made to suck, you know. It's not like, but they're all, so they're slightly different from each other. You can't play them all the same. I mean, you can, but, you know, you'd be better off not playing them the same. Play to their strength, play to their strengths. Their strengths. It's a shame you just can't do this on one pass, but you can. Maybe if I had a laser, well, then I'd go through the table. Last one on this drill bit size. Then we'll go up to the next drill bit, and that should loosen all of them up. All right. Counterintuitive with this. It looks like it was getting stuck going this way. And this one right here is only to the other ones. All right, here goes. Here's our screwdriver up here. All right, pop this thing out. Okay, Schadenfreude. It's like something you make in a bathroom. Well, I had to go take a Schadenfreude. Uh-huh. Don't slide on me. There's a lot of slippery stuff here. It don't look like it broke loose. We got through the plastic there. Let's move the other side and we'll pry it open. I bet there's stuff in the back seat. I mean, there's not much space, is it, in the back seat of a Porsche? Is one of these truly a two-car, or is there like a mini back seat? I don't know. I don't remember the last time I had one. Well, the front broke loose. Look at all those little bits of the metal. There we go. Yeah, fast speed is just too freaking dangerous. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, well, this is actually a one-car vehicle, because there's some, I mean, look at this. You got some, I mean, it's not wonderful, but you got like seat belts and stuff in there. You've got like a couple of nitrous bottles. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. All right, we're going to put this in one compartment. All the stuff from this Porsche is going to be in one. Let's see if we can put this somewhere it's not going to fall over. Hopefully I don't bump into it. As I've gotten older, I've gotten clumsy. I'm not clumsier. I do stupid shit. Let's put all these pieces together. Okay? That's the Porsche. All right, BMW's next. Beamer, beamer. Wiener beamer. Yeah, if you try doing this whole thing with this drill bit without putting a pilot hole and then expanding it a little bit, you'd be here all day. It doesn't work. I mean, if it was a way to do it, I would, but lots of torque. Whoop. It's funny, it went through, but it didn't loosen it up, all right? All we got to do is just loosen it in there. Okay, and then we'll do the same on the other side. And the more I do this, the better I'll get at it, I hope. Although it's going a lot better today than it was last time. Okay. Just reverse it out. There we go. That's what we got this thing for. All right, see what we got inside this beamer? Scheisse. It's stuck. All right. Okay. Yeah, the bottoms of these are all plastic, so what do we got here? This is a back seat, silver seats. So I'll do is I'll actually go online and see what the interior of some of these are and paint it that color. Why not? Okay. The windows, which are permanently open on the sides, and the beautiful, that's a beautiful blue color. And of course we'll paint the grille and the headlamps and all that. I love painting headlamps, and I'm not being facetious. I really do. Once I figured out how to do it, that I could do them consistently and like how they turn out. Yeah. All right, the Vanagon, the Type 2 Custom, T2 Custom. And then when we're done taking these cars apart, that's when we're done for tonight. It has a lot of torque. Okay. Over here on the front. See how this pops open? Oh, we're going to be being a little difficult, huh? Okay. We have ways of making you come apart. There we go. Okay. And the same thing back here. Doesn't have to look pretty. I thought a wheel went flying. That would have sucked. Have to take everything out. All right. And the inside of this thing, oh, just has front seats. It looks like a fish. Okay. Cool. Next, Haus and Pfeffer. Wonder if that's from the same episode. Belvedere, come here, boy. No? Okay, well, you had to be there. Mark Lappin, I keep meaning to customize or clean up some of my childhood cars or putting extra details like the interior. You know, if you haven't taken them apart, you'd probably be floored what kind of detail they have. I don't have any of my childhood cars anymore. I remember back in the late 70s, the ones I really liked were these ones called Tomica, and they were called pocket cars. And they came on a little card that looked like a little stitch. The back of it was like a little stitch blue jean type of thing. And then the car would be on there on the little, on the little plastic card. Just this was. And some of those, I mean, somebody's trying to sell them for hundreds of dollars, okay? But I like them because they always had like a hood that opened or the doors that opened or both. And I had several of those. Well, I mean, I never had a ton, but I had probably 10 of them. And they had more realistic shaped wheels. And they also tend to have not exotic cars. Like cars that, that nobody, cars like this, affordable cars. I had a Monaco that had like a pearl white. And then I had a Nissan Sunny, which kind of looks like a Civic hatchback. Actually looks like a Celica hatchback. The first Celicas that came out looked like that. And then I had and they always had the scale of those on the bottom of them, right? They always told. Matchbox sometimes does that. They don't always do it, but they used to always do it. They don't well, here, this is 1/62nd, this pickup truck. That's a Matchbox. This is a Matchbox. We have a scale on this one. It's probably a much smaller scale. 170. Yeah. So, Matchbox is pretty good about that. Hot Wheels are all over the place. Doesn't really matter for the game. But the interiors of these vehicles look... Oh, look at that. We got that little piece of metal came out. We're not close to popping out, are you? But I'm floored by how much detail some of these things have. I mean, they look better than some Airfix models. Older Airfix models. Look better than the Matchbox models. I recently built a Walrus float plane by Matchbox. It had no detail on the cockpit at all. And I consider going to the flea market and buy these old cars, right, to make wrecks out of them, because I need some wrecks for the game. I don't want to purposefully buy a car that's in good shape and wreck it, but it may come to that. I can at least keep the wheels and use the wheels for something else. Now, I have not made any vehicles that I've switched the wheels out yet, but I've only made 6 vehicles, so that's not a huge priority for me. This is being a bit difficult, and that's after drilling it out thrice. trying to break off that little rim. That's what's kind of holding it in place, is that little rim. All right, well, you know what? You know what you do when something's difficult? You move on to the next thing. Then come back to it. Otherwise, you spend the whole time fighting one thing and not getting anywhere. And these are drill bits for metal. I don't know if that one's going to pop free yet or not. It's like all of a sudden everything was going smooth and going sideways. So what we're going to do, let's move up a step and let's use an even bigger drill bit. One was a little bit bigger. Let's get crazy. Fuck, that hurt. Let's not do that again. Use a bigger hammer! Use a bigger hammer! Let's see here. I think that did it. Well, I thought wrong. You obstinate little thing. Yeah. I'm fine just removing the plastic and have it pop out, because we're going to be, we're permanently going to I'm wondering if I wouldn't buy like a soldering iron or something like that. That might actually be better. And just like desolder around the end, basically you have a post like this and just go around it. You don't really care what the bottom of it looks like. The bottom of all these are in plastic. So I'm wondering, I'm gonna go back to the other side. This is not getting anywhere. I wonder if that wouldn't work out better, but sometimes you gotta think outside the box. I'm sure there's people that can take these apart a lot better than I can. But I can outpaint them. Ha 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 ha! I don't pride myself on my mechanical skills. We did something here. Come on, you Chinese pizza crap. This one's all beat up. Something to the front. Now, Good Lord, man. Okay. These don't have an interior. But it's a pretty cool body style. It's almost like an extended cab. It looks like something that Chester Cheetah would drive. You know what I'm talking about. It's got that Chester Cheetah look to it a little bit. So, all right. Yeah, you got solid windows here. I have one of these that I already painted up. I like the design of some of them, but it is a make-believe car. All right. Chester Cheetah. Not to be confused with Tony the Tiger. Or the Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. All right. How many more to do? 3? All right. Oh, that's the guy that was being a pain in the ass. All right, let's get this redneck truck here. It looks like the bottom of it would be metal, but it's not. It's just silver plastic. Airbrush stand, which is super handy. All right. Yeah, I say all the time I don't like airbrushing because it's difficult to do. Airbrushing is a piece of cake compared to this. This is a pain in the ass. I can also not take them apart, but yeah, this thing is hot. Hot, 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 hot. So yeah, the Switchyard Studio is pretty happy with the stuff I've gotten from them. No, I'm not sponsored by them. I don't want to be sponsored by anybody. I don't want anybody's free stuff because I like to be able to have a clear conscience. Like I buy something and if it's not very good, I'll let you go. You guys know it's not very good, you know, or I didn't like it. You know, I don't mean to mean or nothing, but it's like, you know, I don't want to be like, man, this is not very good, but I can't tell you guys because they sponsored me. Nope. Make better stuff, folks. But the Switchyard Studio stuff that I got is pretty good. I'll use sheet styrene and stuff for armor, but I'm not going to like make missiles out of toothpicks. That's, you know, I want them to look decent, not, you know, just haphazard. Boy, you're just being difficult. Now, I could just stop here and just say, you know what, we'll work on these last 3. You just take that little bit of rim. That's what's grabbing the plastic. You know, I bet if I put my Dremel and did a small drill bit and just drilled a bunch of little holes through the plastic around that pin, that would work too. I bet that'd be quicker. Well, we're not going to do that today. So next time we do it, that's what we're going to do, because it'll drilling through plastic is a breeze. All right, I changed my mind. We are going to do that. We have all this equipment. We have some equipment. We don't have all of this equipment. We have some equipment, and I can control the speed of this pretty well. All right. So what do we have here? Let's get the special. This thing is awesome. However, it's annoying that you got to use this particular tool to take these bits off. So I'm going to see if I've got a drill bit over here that is not too tiny. I got lots of drill bits. And a lot of these things I got down as hand-me-downs. Those are all too big. Let's go over here. Say something like this one. Oh, wrong one. Where is she? Here. I don't really care what the underside looks like. Just has to be enough of it there to hold it together. All right, and let's make sure this thing's plugged in. Of course, it has a foot pedal. It needs to have a foot pedal because the low end of the speed of these Dremels is insanely fast and completely unnecessary for the kind of stuff that we're doing here. Okay. Now let me get my stool. I'm getting a bit tired of standing, and I should be able to do this in hand and not risk injury. All right. All right, which one were we working on? Let's do the rabbit. Okay, so we're just going to go around. We're going to put one in these cardinal directions. We're going to put one right here into the plastic, and the other cardinal direction here, in there, one on this side, north, south, east, west. Okay, and then this one here. Okay, and then we're going to split the difference in between them. We should be able to play connect the dots. Almost through. Yeah, a lot easier. Especially since I've been putting these things back together with like a hot glue gun. Here's my, I got a pair of these out here, don't I? Yeah, I got my crappy ones. My ones from Hobby Lobby. These are definitely a piece of shit compared to the Tamiya ones. But they work just fine for this kind of abuse. All right, why aren't you loosening up, dude? Dude! Why aren't you loosening up? All right, here we go. All right, we literally cut. That piece out. I mean, we literally went around it, right? All right, we're loose. All right, let's do the same thing in the back. And the next ones I do, I'm not even gonna fool with trying to do that. Just come in and just put 4 holes in them. North, south, east, west, or back, front, side. Sorry, then you connect them. Just go around, just like you're cutting around in a circle, like a router. This is going to snap in half like the other one. Well, why are you so difficult? And I'm pretty patient, but at some point it's like enough's enough. All right, what do we got inside here? We got all 4 seats. I hate to sit back here. It's got a built-in toilet in the back seat. You gotta sit in the middle. Okay, this is Le Rabbit. All right. All the pieces go with it. In one of the compartments, what we got? We got 2 redneck trucks left. Who you call redneck? These people. We're here to make fun of everybody. All right, let's start with the back one. Now, I could probably use a smaller drill bit, but the problem with doing a smaller drill bit is it's not as durable, and I'm literally going to put a hole in, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to go around in a circle. So I don't want to, you're putting lateral pressure on these drill bits, which is not really what they're meant for. So if you use one that's too thin, I'm going to run into issues. Let's do this. Make sure we got some cushioning. All right. Now, if these happen to have a metal underside, which I have not encountered any that do, I'm sure that's the real old school ones do, then this won't work. Yep, we're loose. Perfect. And we still kept the tow hook. It's a hell of a lot quicker. This is going to be a little tricky because I'm not going to put a hole through the front one. It's too close to the edge. Don't want the wheels to go flying. All right, let's see what we got inside this thing. Got a nice interior there with a console. It's pretty nice, you know, considering this is a freaking dollar. Now, the only catch is I went through some of the truck bed, okay, in this case, but I probably would have ended up going through it anyways, even if I took down the other things. So I'm really good at patching things up, so we should be able to cover that up without any issue whatsoever. And if this is the one that has the turret, you're definitely not going to see it on it. But it's a hell of a lot quicker than the other method. And I'm going to go ahead and put that wreck in there. The wreck is heavy, man. That's a chunk. All right, one more. Don't forget to subscribe if you're into this. All right. I have one friend of mine I know, he always sticks his foot in his mouth. And he asked me one time, I said, man, you know, I'm on a fixed income. I can't subscribe to you. I'm like, I don't want your money, man. Take Google's money, you know? Just get some of their money. I don't want to take people's money. I don't want to ask people for money. All right. You're going to go through? Yeah, you might have the same problem here. Let's see if we can't not go very deep with this. How about that? I don't know what speed this is at, but this is probably 25% or less than the standard speed of the Dremel. It's just too damn fast for what we're doing. If you're working with plastic, a Dremel is just too fast. All right, we didn't go through that. Is it enough to release it? It is. Perfect. We got even better at it. All right. Let's not even punch holes in it. Let's just engrave it. And then the next time I take these things apart, it'll go even better. We need a little bit more of the treatment to it. And I'm actually going to try one thing before I leave. Okay, well, we're still on here. I don't like all this edited content. Like, we do it live, and if I encounter things that are an issue, you'll see that the stuff I encountered and how we got around it, so that you're not discouraged, because problems happen all the time. All right, look at this. Released it fine. This even got 2 cup holders. See if I can get that. 2 cup holders in there. Okay, so this is going to go all in once. All right, so what is it we're going to try? Well, we have some of these cars that have some graphics that I'd rather than not have on there. Okay, it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to grab, say, this BMW. Right, I believe this one has one of them. It's more noticeable on the Porsche. So let me grab the Porsche. And it has a little Hot Wheels thing on here, which, you know, we'd like to simulate that this is a real vehicle. And even though you can get decals that say Hot Wheels for your real vehicle, and I've actually thought about doing that. I've thought about doing that now that I have, you know, now that we're doing car stuff. So we're going to try some dry erase markers, and this may not work for a couple of reasons. And maybe these dry erase markers are just too fucking cheap, okay? Because they are, you know, dollar store. And not all things are created equally. So they may not work worth a damn. All right, so supposedly, we're going to cover up, oh, this has got a lot more ink than the other one. We're going to cover up this Hot Wheels insignia. Let it set for a little bit. Let's put the cap on it. Way too big of a piece of paper. Actually, we're going to use the microcloth because it's worth it. And try to remove it. And I don't know if it budged it. I don't know if it budged it at all. Hold on one second. Okay. Okay, it came off. It's coming off. You know, what we're talking about is this little logo that's right here. God, the lighting just... It's good for me, but not good for you guys. See this little logo here, this little swoosh? That's what we're going to try to... So let's do it again. So let it sit on there for a while. And if I can't get it off, it's not like it bothers me that much. You know, but it's like, let's make things look like real cars. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. So these dry erase markers are actually working better than the other ones. I got 2 packs of them. The other one were a little too chisely, you know, maybe a little bit too hard. So what we're going to do with this is once we get those off, we're not going to do it tonight, but we're going to give it a matte varnish. So it'll actually look flat, okay? And the reason I'm doing that is because on a microscope level, you turn, this basically gives it a sandpaper effect, which there's some grooves in there that the wash can attach to. This is too smooth for a wash really to attach to it. And the reason I want a wash is it gives a little bit of a variation in color, so to speak. And now it's already almost come off. It works somewhat. It works somewhat. I'm a lot more comfortable doing this than getting the buffer, only because the buffer, I don't have any bits that are too small enough for it. And we want to do this step before we add the clear coat, because if you add the clear coat, this definitely won't work then. The other thing that would work is mineral spirits. But then I got to worry about getting it on. Well, I wouldn't be doing it here. I'd be doing it inside with my really small paintbrush, and I'll take my contacts out, and it's all good. Anyhow, it's good to experiment with different things. You might learn a skill that you're not good at. Like I can already tell you, taking these things apart from the future, we're not doing this drill bit thing. We're going to go around it and just basically like carve a hole. So you've got the peg here that's holding everything together, and it's mushroomed out. So we'll just go around that whole mushroom, all the way around it, almost like engraving it. So let's loose. And it's going to be a lot quicker. I'm not going to have to switch drill bits, which is kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, this one's almost gone. All right, let me... Yeah, I don't have a buffing thing that's small enough. Unless... No, I don't want to scratch the finish on the black. And And the black's actually pretty forgiving. Some of the other ones will be more difficult to get off. And I mean, this isn't a really big deal because I could just paint a little spot of black over it and it's not even noticeable. Some of the other ones where I want to keep some of the decals and not touch some of the other ones, like this Volkswagen bus, you know, it's got Hot Wheels hidden in there. There's nothing you can do about that. You'd end up it's built into the paint color there. However, it does have a window. And I don't know if we're going to use this window or not. That has Hot Wheels 25th anniversary on it. That's basically come off completely. And this one's not budging yet. So we'll just have to leave that for another time. Let's see how if this window budged at all. Not only did it budge at all, it damaged the window. Interesting. It actually discolored the window. I mean, it's not a big deal. No, I think I just got it off. All right, looks like it worked pretty well on that. Didn't adhere really well. Okay. False alarm. Stand down. All right, folks. Well, that's going to be it for tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, it took like 2 hours to do it. Like, oh, I should be an hour. Nope, it's 2 hours. Probably would have only taken an hour if I would have figured out, hey, just carve around it. So that's what we'll do next time. All right, folks. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.